What went wrong? I was literally shitting myself moments before I was about to go on stage. To catch you up, this is the story of my first ever comedy tour where something went hilariously wrong in every city. And in Prague, shit hit the fan. Literally. I was thrilled to be returning to one of the first places I had ever visited in Europe. Plus, my wife and I decided to use the show as an excuse to take our dog on his first vacation. They have a lovely dedicated comedy club in Prague called Metro Comedy, so I was very excited as we all packed up and hopped on the train. After our scenic train ride, we arrived Friday evening and headed through the beautiful twilight to our hotel. We spent the night walking through the city and ended up at a very cozy traditional Czech restaurant where I decided to abandon my vegetarianism so that I could try the goulash since it was a national specialty. It was phenomenal. I loved it, and that's important to remember for later. The comedy club was selling the tickets for the show, so I had no idea what to expect, but I decided to try not to stress and just enjoy the day. My wife and I set off to show Prague to our dog, and we walked him through all the tourist spots, the Old Square, the Clock, and Charles Bridge. We sipped mulled wine by the river and then decided to go for lunch. I loved the goulash the night before so much that I decided to have another portion. Afterwards, we began hiking up a hill across from the city to watch the sunset. It was magical. Until my stomach started to gurgle. I tried to ignore it, and then I realized, oh no, I need a toilet so badly I just handed my wife my phone and muttered, "Starbucks, now." After my emergency Starbucks stop, I realized I needed to get back to the hotel ASAP. At the time, I thought I had food poisoning, but in hindsight, I think as a vegetarian, if you switch to a diet of mulled wine and melted meat soup, you're in for a rough go. It was an hour before showtime, and I couldn't get off the toilet. Finally, I had no choice but to pull myself together, clench my cheeks, and waddle down to the club. In the end, they had gotten a nice turnout of around 25 people, and one of the legends of the Prague scene and main contributors to the club, Grant Gallagher, did a little warm-up for me while I dashed to the toilet again. When he brought me up, I wasn't sure if I would be able to make it through the whole show. But the adrenaline of being on stage made my body pull it together, and it ended up being one of the funnest shows I had ever done.
You guys have been really excellent. I've almost forgotten that I had to rush into a Starbucks. Do what I had to do, you know. Starbucks, my favorite coffee chain to have diarrhea at.
The audience was incredible, and it was one of those special nights where, despite my gastrointestinal issues, I got to remember how incredibly lucky I am. To be telling jokes, to be making people laugh, to be chasing my dream, to get to be in Prague with my family, and best of all, to have a show that felt like it was really starting to be a good hour of comedy. Anyway, like and follow for the next stop on the tour, Innsbruck, where actually, for once, nothing went wrong, but I did perform for my largest crowd ever.